So today we're going to dive into a really remarkable story. It's right at this incredible intersection of cutting-edge AI and, well, one of the oldest and toughest challenges in medicine, cancer. We're about to see how researchers are teaching an AI not just to analyze biology, but to actually make brand new discoveries. Okay, let's jump right in.
At its core, our body has this amazing defense system. Our immune cells are constantly on patrol, and their job is to identify and destroy threats, and that includes cancerous cells. It's this natural, built-in line of defense that's working silently every single day.
But here's the problem. Cancer is incredibly clever. Over time, some tumors actually evolve ways to become invisible to our immune system. They basically put on a disguise, which lets them grow completely unchecked, dodging not only our natural defenses, but even our most modern therapies.
And this, right here, brings us to the absolute heart of this whole breakthrough. What if? What if we could use the power of AI to see what our own immune system can't? What if we could train a model to unmask these hidden tumors and basically flag them for destruction?
Okay, so to really understand the solution, we first need to get a handle on the problem. Oncologists call it the cold tumor problem, and honestly, it's one of the biggest hurdles in cancer immunotherapy today.
So what exactly is a cold tumor? Well, think of it this way. For your immune system to go after a cancer cell, that cell needs to raise a little flag. It's a protein called an antigen that basically screams, "Hey, I'm a threat, attack me." Cold tumors, they're the ones that just don't raise those flags. They're silent. They're invisible.
And this comparison really makes it clear. Hot tumors are the ones that are inflamed and full of immune cells because they're waving those antigen flags like crazy. This makes them perfect targets for treatments like immunotherapy. But cold tumors, they're the complete opposite. They're immunologically barren. No flags, no immune response, and that means immunotherapy just doesn't work. So the big goal then is to figure out a way to turn these cold tumors hot.
All right, so enter the hero of our story. Researchers at Google DeepMind and Yale got together and developed an AI to tackle this exact problem. It's called C2S-Scale, and it's designed to do something pretty extraordinary: learn to read the fundamental language of our cells. The magic behind this AI is a framework called cell-to-sentence. Now, a single cell has thousands of active genes, which creates this massive, super complex data profile. What cell-to-sentence does, and this is just brilliant, is it translates all of that overwhelming biological data into a simple text format, a sentence, that a large language model can read, just like it would read human language. So how does it pull this off? It's this beautifully elegant three-step process. First, the AI scans all the gene activity happening in a single cell. Then it just ranks all of those genes from the most active to the least active. And finally, it creates a sentence using the names of the genes in that exact order. Simple, right? And this is basically what it looks like. The most active gene becomes the first word, the second most active becomes the second word, and you get the idea. By doing this, the AI is converting this incredibly complex biology into a sequence that holds on to the most crucial piece of information, the relative importance of every single gene. Now, let's talk about the model itself for a sec. C2S-Scale is built on Google's open-source Gemma model, which is a huge deal. It's got 27 billion parameters, so it's incredibly powerful, and it was trained on data from over 50 million individual cells. But here's the real kicker. Because it's open source and relatively compact, researchers don't need a massive supercomputer to run it. This just blows the doors open for access to this kind of powerful tool. Okay, now this is where the story gets really exciting. So with a model that can literally read cells, the researchers gave it a massive challenge. Could it run a virtual experiment to find a drug that could turn those cold tumors hot? And the scale of this experiment was just immense. Look at that number. Instead of spending years and millions of dollars in a traditional lab, the AI virtually tested the effect of over 4,000 different drugs on cell models. We're talking about compressing years of biological research into just a few hours.
But they weren't just looking for any drug that worked. Oh no, the challenge was much more subtle than that. They needed to find a drug that would only boost those cancer-fighting flags under a very specific condition, when a faint immune signal called interferon was present. You can think of interferon as a distress call our cells send out for immune system backup. So the goal was to find a smarter, safer therapy that only activates exactly where it's needed most, inside the tumor.
And after sifting through thousands and thousands of possibilities, the AI made this absolutely astonishing prediction. It flagged a drug called silmitasertib. Now, the AI predicted the drug would do pretty much nothing on its own. But, and this is the whole key, when you combine it with that low dose of interferon, the AI predicted a huge boost in those antigen flags. This was a context-dependent effect that nobody had ever seen before.
So a virtual prediction is one thing, but does it actually work in the real world? The next step was absolutely crucial. Take this digital discovery and test it in a physical lab at Yale. This was the moment of truth for all of this AI-driven science.
The scientists set up a really rigorous test. They took the exact combination the AI suggested, silmitasertib plus that low dose of interferon, and they applied it to human neuroendocrine tumor cells. Now, what's so important here is that the AI had never, ever been trained on this specific type of cell. This made it a true test of its ability to generalize its knowledge.
And the results? They were just stunning. This chart says it all. The combination predicted by the AI caused a 50% increase in antigen presentation, those critical flags, compared to the control cells. The AI's virtual prediction was confirmed perfectly in the lab. Basically, the tumor lit up for the immune system. The AI had done it. It had successfully found a hidden biological pathway, revealing a completely new strategy to make those invisible, cold tumors visible and vulnerable to attack.
You know, this whole breakthrough isn't just about one drug or one AI model. It opens up a much bigger conversation about the future of medicine. It really focuses on the incredible promise of these discoveries and the potential peril of who actually gets to use them.
And this quote from Thomas Wolfe, he's a co-founder of the AI community hub Hugging Face. It just captures the spirit of this work perfectly. He argues that science moves fastest when it's open, when ideas are shared and built upon by a whole global community.
And that's exactly what making C2S-Scale open source does. It democratizes this powerful technology. A small lab anywhere in the world can now download this model and test their own hypotheses without needing some giant supercomputer. It really has the potential to accelerate the pace of discovery for everyone.
This quote just hits the nail on the head. A groundbreaking discovery is amazing, of course, but its true value is only realized when it can be accessed and used by the people who actually need it.
And so we're left with this really critical question for the future. As AI continues to unlock these incredible new medical discoveries, are we going to build a system where these breakthroughs are accessible to every patient, to every public hospital? Or will they get patented, licensed, and ultimately priced out of reach? That is the question we all have to answer together.